You're listening to The Parallel Paths, a podcast designed to elevate your mind, body, and spirit so that you can get everything you want out of life. The only question is, are you ready?
Do you have a business or looking to start one? Establishing your online presence is key. Bluehost makes it quick and easy to get your website up and going, making it an ideal solution for beginners with its fast loading speeds and variety of features. Powering over 2 million websites, Bluehost offers a full range of hosting services, SEO, and much more, all at budget-friendly prices. Sign up today for web hosting as low as $3.95 per month. Click our link in the show notes for instant access to this incredible deal. Now to the podcast.
You ready?
Let go.
Welcome back to the Parallel Paths podcast. I'm your co-host, Makeda Moore.
And I'm your other co-host, Blair McClendon.
Yes, and we are back for season 2. We made it through season 1, and we are back again for season 2. We couldn't leave y'all hanging for too long, so we are back again.
For sure. Happy to be back. Many changes.
Yes, a lot has changed.
Yeah, so I guess to catch up, how's everything been? We took a month off, so the month of August we kind of took that time to celebrate our birthdays and bask in all of this glorious summer energy. So how's the month of August been for you?
Yes, we did. Month of August has been amazing. Entered the 30 club, you know.
Hey. We out here.
Yes, we are 30 and up now. Yes. So birthday. I've been celebrating a lot of birthdays. And just the energy since moving to LA, like my energy has just been on 100. Like it's just so perfect out here for me. Like the people I'm meeting, the things I see on a regular basis. Like my job is challenging, but I can see the evidence of the energy I bring, like transferring to my job as well, and like connecting with these kids out here. So I'm in a very good place. Yes. What about you, Blair?
It's been good. Just been doing some strategizing, rebranding with my businesses, and just getting ready for a stellar third decade here on this plane. So, or fourth, really, fourth. Yeah. So these 30s, I'm looking forward to. I think it's going to be some of the best times ahead, despite what the external environment may look like to us at times. You have to keep your eye on that end goal, and at least on this side, that end goal is very bright. So I'm looking forward to everything coming.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's that Blair sees that brightness. I see my brightness, and the truth of the matter is, everybody has that. Like we all have something amazing inside of each and every one of us, and it's just doing a certain things and living a certain lifestyle that allows you to keep maintaining that light to where you stay on that path and you keep going and you grow, evolve, heal, succeed, and all this stuff. And it takes, practicing and having a certain level of knowledge and awareness and all this stuff, which is the reason why we bring this podcast, because, as you can tell, Blair and I, we're in a great space. and it's regardless of what is going on in our external world. I mean, again, to remind you, we started this podcast, the first season of the podcast, during quarantine, and things have not gotten better since. Things have not gotten better. But Blair and I are thriving, and we haven't, like, there's certain things I think Blair can admit to that have kind of shook him a little bit, but it never, because you can't help but respond a little bit emotionally to some of the stuff that's going on. But Blair is still winning. His brands are still growing. He's still getting healthier. Relationships are flourishing. Like all this stuff in the midst of a global pandemic and the rising again, or coming to the front, all these social injustices. Like everything is still going on, and some people have responded in one way, and others have responded in this way. And we just want y'all to know that it is available to each and every one of y'all to respond in the way that Blair and I have.
For sure. I mean, this is definitely the time where it's two different worlds evolving. So this is the time for you to choose which one you're trying to be a part of. And on this side, it's nothing but growth and elevation. So like Makeda alluded to, I know plenty of people who 2020 has been an excellent year for. Just not even necessarily financially, but personally, mentally, physically, whatever it may be. I know plenty of people who are thriving. Everybody who I surround myself with is on the upward trajectory. So for us, we're trying to see everybody eat, which is why we're bringing this podcast to you. We want everybody to be the best version of themselves. And I think this season, you'll definitely get a lot of value.
Yep. Yep. And so when it came to planning this season, you know, we ultimately, the whole point of this podcast is to be able to make a difference. We want to be able to help people, like Blair said, to get to a level where they're happy, like their life is full, they're happy, they're healthy, they're wealthy, abundant, everything that is our birthright, everything that we are worthy of receiving, living that life. And when we were planning this season, you know, we started thinking about what was the most important to us. Like, what is the thing that needs to happen right now? Because we are in a very unique period where, you know, Blair and I have talked before about like the war, you know, the war of good and evil and health and sickness, things like that. And it's becoming more apparent. And it's at this point in time that we have to stop kind of playing around and start taking things a lot more seriously, because we have a window of opportunity here. And Blair and I see that window of opportunity being for the Black community to heal. You know, this is our time. And until we heal, we will never be able to achieve the outcomes that we desire, which is complete freedom to be who we are and to live life like not in fear, not, you know, oppressed or any of that stuff, but to live what we deserve, like every other person out here does deserve. And this is an opportunity for us to start making strides to that. But, you know, there are things that are getting in the way, right? So Blair and I decided that this season 2 of the Parallel Paths podcast, the theme of the season is going to be ways to heal the Black community. And Blair, why did we feel like healing the Black community was necessary? Why was that a component of, you know, what we represent in this podcast?
Well, to kind of connect the dots for the audience, you alluded to us, you know, feeling good in some of these darker moments and being light in some of these darker times. And that starts on the inside. So healing includes that. And I think that's one topic that often gets overlooked in our community, being people of color, that we also too have our mental and our physical ailments and spiritual that are not being addressed by mainstream or your everyday doctor. So this is a way for us to share some of the tips and remedies and knowledge that we've gained over our own healing process that brought us to this point. And it's not an overnight type of process. It's something that you have to be disciplined and work toward and want for yourself. It's nothing nobody else can do for you. And I think we kind of touched on it in the last season, but that's where religion may hold you back. You're waiting on a savior, and it starts with you.
Yep.
You have to be your own savior when it comes to this healing. So
Yep.
it's really just about empowering our listeners to take the reins of their own life. And for whatever you want to manifest, or however you're trying to heal, or whatever you're trying to do, we want to be the example and show you that it is possible.
Yep. Yep. And like what Blair was saying about like not waiting on someone to save you, I want to say without a doubt, God, universe, creator, Allah, source, whatever you refer to the ultimate as, there's a bounty of gifts and beautiful things laid out for you that the creator wants you to have. And we're the ones preventing ourselves from having that in your daily actions, in the way you think, in the way you eat, the people who you hang around with, what, like all that stuff. If you're not seeing that bountiful, beautiful life, there are things that you're doing that are preventing you from having it, because it's already there. It is already there. I believe that without a doubt. And it's evidenced by my life, by Blair's life, by the lives of the people who we surround ourselves with. It's there. So we know for sure, this isn't just theory, this is experience. And we knew that it took healing ourselves on multiple different levels that we'll talk about throughout the season. In order for us to be where we're at now and to see life for what it really is, it took healing mentally, physically, and spiritually. And, we are so grateful to have had this journey. That way now we can come here and now speak about it and share this with y'all. And we just hope that these words reach y'all, and we can work together and get this train rolling.
For sure. And then in this time, especially with the amount of death around us, we know people are hurting. We know it's a lot of pain. But one thing that I've learned in my 30 years on this plane is that it takes pain to fix pain.
Hey.
So, I mean, sometimes you have to put yourself through that dark element or that dark side. You have to become friends with your shadow side, which people are often scared of or run from. Mm-hmm. But sometimes we have to embrace pain to be able to fix it. So, like Makeda said, we're going to be an open book in our own journeys and some of the things that we've gone through and how we've come to this particular point of finally coming to peace in most areas of our life.
Yeah.
So we're constantly evolving. By no means am I perfect, but always striving to be better, which is the only thing that I can ask of myself.
Yeah. And honestly, I love that quote. It takes pain to heal pain. Is that what you said?
It takes pain to fix pain.
It takes pain to fix pain. And I think when it comes to healing the Black community, the pain is going to come from acknowledging all the things that we are doing to ourselves that are preventing us from healing, preventing us from receiving all that abundance that we deserve. So Blair and I are going to, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but right now we're at that place now where we got to face the pain. And the pain is acknowledging all the things that we're still doing and that are hard for us to stop doing, that are causing ourselves harm, right? Some of the healing that we have to do is from pain that's been inflicted upon us. And some of the other healing that we have to do is from the pain that we've inflicted on ourselves, that we've continued to inflict on ourselves. So Blair and I, we're going to just go through some of the areas that we feel like as a community, we need healing in. Yeah. You have something to say, Blair? I thought you said something.
No.
But yeah, so, okay. So, and we both started writing down these lists. But we, when it comes to how important healing is, we told y'all about that. Like, why we need to heal is so that we can have access to this abundant, beautiful life. And we can't wait on anyone to give it to us. We have to get it ourselves. The Creator has put it there for you. You just have to help get yourself there. In order to get yourself there, we have to begin to heal as a community. So some of the things that we were looking at when we started thinking about this topic, one of the big ones for me was the family system. I feel like without family, without that support, you really can't go anywhere. Because when I look at my family growing up in a 2-parent household, with always lived with the grandparents. We lived in a subdivision. We would go on vacations over the summer. I didn't realize how rare that was as a Black female. Like, until I went to HBCU, or until I started working with kids, in the mental health system, I didn't realize how rare that was. But because of that upbringing I had, that prevented me from certain experiences that I might now be needing to heal from, right? So the family system is definitely one area that we need to heal from. And I know Blair earlier was talking about like how systematic oppression comes in here, where we live in a system that is designed to tear the Black family apart, right? I can't remember the incarceration rate of Black men. It's like I don't
One
say
in,
1 in 4.
well, I was gonna say, I think it's 1 in 4.
1 in 4 Black men are incarcerated, um, and for crimes that they shouldn't be incarcerated for, right? If they're even can even put a crime on them, but just lacking that foundation, knowing what love looks like, right? Because in this, when I'm hurt, because I'm hurt, I might hurt you, right? And most often you're going to hurt the person closest to you, right?
Hey, hurt people hurt people.
Exactly. So the family is definitely a place that we need to work on to, one, work on communication skills. How can we communicate with one another? How can we all heal and get better without causing harm to one another, right?
Yeah.
And how can we show that loyalty to where I'm not going to be distracted by, the front I'm trying to put up, to where I end up, breaking down trust, like basically cheating on a spouse or something like that. And then I guess like also taking responsibility for kids.
Yeah, and my biggest thing probably will be health related. As many may or may not know, I had my own health issues, and the root of that stuff stems from how we eat. So a lot of the chronic diseases that we are programmed to think that are uh, passed down by generation, and say like, oh, well, heart disease runs in my family. No, it runs in your eating habits. So being able to just help, I guess, dissect a little bit more of that, and like really talk about how you can utilize food to be your medicine. A lot of the things that are going on right now with this world situation, you know what I'm talking about. I don't even want to allude to the name, but um, mainstream media isn't talking about how to boost your immune system or the things that you need to do to protect yourself. It's always about putting a band-aid on the situation, um, or this substance that they're trying to develop and inject into you. So with all that being said, we just want to shed light on some of the things that we know can help heal our community and make this a better place for everybody. 2020 is nothing but clear vision. So this is the time where the veil has been lifted. You should be seeing more and more of the truth come out. At the end of the day, truth will always prevail.
That 2020 clear vision, man, you can't run from it anymore. It's right there in front of your face. Okay, so we got broken families. We have these terrible food habits. And especially for the Black community, the soul food. That food ain't feeding your soul.
The
it,
same
is, it is
food that killed
separating you
you
from
is the
your
same
soul.
food that you are serving after the funeral.
Right.
Crazy.
Right. Yeah. So we have to do
Absolutely
a lot of
crazy.
reframing when it comes to food, because food has been such a comfort to our community, that it's like it seems like you're trying to strip away their identity. But you can still have those foods you identify with, just doing it in a different way. Um, okay. What about lack of ownership? That's another big problem in the Black community. Just thinking about the hair industry in itself, like all the stores that Black women frequent are owned by Asians, right? Um, and then how can we? And then we have a Black family who does open up a hair shop, but because their resources are more limited, we stop going to them because they don't have what we need. Versus continuing to feed into that company so that they can eventually have everything that we need. Um, yeah.
That's facts. We'll
Land,
definitely talk more about circulating the Black dollar, and building that within our own community too. But we're getting a little low on time, and we don't want to give you too much. So this is just a little intro, a little teaser for what's more to come during this season.
yeah. Um, Mental health. We'll also definitely talk about mental health. Um, I think a big thing is just, acknowledging that we have emotions, especially for our Black men out there, letting them acknowledge their emotions. I think this is where that whole toxic masculinity might be somewhat related. But yeah, definitely, normalizing
Facts.
that we experience anxiety, depression, and how those are just symptoms. So it can be cured and healed from.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely talk about, what about Black on Black violence?
Man, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about sticking together, being stronger as one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about exercising. We'll talk about self-care, truly loving yourself. Um, you name it, eliminating distractions, our idols, the celebrities, people that we put on pedestals. We're talking about all that.
Yeah. So we coming in hot season 2, because this our community, it's our community, and Blair and I realized like everybody kind of has their different role in this current revolution that we're experiencing. And Blair and I, like, our role is to consume, create, and disseminate knowledge to our community. That's what role we play. We're not going to be up there on the front line, all the time out there.
But yeah, but don't get it twisted.
If we have,
Definitely, hey, you know who we're
at some
riding
point in
with.
time, but for now, and this is another part of it, like Blair said about being together. Play your part, know your part. And in order for you to know your part, again, it takes healing. Like the healing, just cleaning yourself so that way you can have vision, you can understand what your position is, you can understand like what your future is and all this stuff. Being able to have that understanding while also having faith, because you can see that light, so that ultimately things are going to turn out for you. It's just that you got to do that stuff in between. So we're gonna dive deep this season. Our goal is to be very direct in our delivery of the content. That way, you guys can easily take it, consume it, and share it with people. And yeah, so we had a lot in store. We're super hype about this season.
Sure.
So Blair, do you have anything else that you want to lay on the people before we head out today?
If there's anything specifically that you would like us to speak about, or if you have any questions or comments, anything, shoot them to us. You can email it to us, theparallelpathspodcast@gmail.com. We'll leave all of our contact info in the descriptions. We have our handles here on the screens. But yeah, feel free to reach out to us. Let's chop it up. Let's create a dialogue. We're always open for collaboration. Makeda and I have some other projects that we'll be doing connected to the podcast that we plan on rolling out in the future. So we definitely want to make it a community-based type of project as well. So again, send us ideas, topics, whatever you want us to discuss, and let's keep this thing moving.
Yes. Y'all be ready. Parallel Podcast.
Let's go.
Season 2.
Let's go.
Right, peace and love. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your daddy, tell your uncle, everybody.
Thanks. Everybody. Share that.
Yep. Again, we got to do this together as a community. And that means everybody being on one accord. That's the only way we can do this. And the only way we will do this. So peace and love, y'all. Peace and love.
Peace, family.